up, guys? The phenomenal AJ Styles, and you're watching Bretto Live.
What is going on, guys? Bretto Live back with another video, and welcome to the Week in Review episode 69. I cannot believe we're already on episode 69. This is absolutely insane how we're one episode away from episode 70. I find that absolutely insane. But of course, we're going to start off with Monday Night Raw, which wasn't a half-bad show at all. We are going to jump in. So without further ado, let's do it. Starting over here was Apollo Crews versus MVP to figure out who was the rightful United States Championship holder. In the end, Apollo Crews ended up standing tall in a not half-bad match. He dropped him with a spin-out powerbomb maneuver. 1, 2, 3, won fair and square. Took out MVP. Brand new MVP figure, by the way, looking amazing. But yeah, he took out MVP. He is the United States Championship. He is the United States Champion, and he did reign supreme just like this. He had both United States titles. He brought back the older one there, and then he had MVP's version there. Of course, I don't have MVP's version. That's why there's two of the same ones there. But yeah, very interesting. And then later in the show, MVP actually challenged Apollo Crews to a rematch at SummerSlam. So that's definitely going to be happening for the United States Championship again at SummerSlam. So that should be pretty interesting. But yeah, in the end, Apollo Crews did pick up the victory, and that was pretty interesting. Moving over here, it was Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan trying to settle their differences against the Iconics. So it was a 2v2, pretty decent before the match. Of course, Kevin Owens tried to bring these two together, and he did very good because they were successful in their tag team win. Of course, the Iconics were provoking them, but now Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott reign supreme as they beat the Iconics here in a not half bad match. The build up to this match and the Kevin Owens show was very good. I really enjoyed that. It was very entertaining. Moving over here, this was probably the weakest part of the show. Nia Jax actually come out with one of their WWE's production guys. They mentioned his name, but I forgot it already. And basically Nia Jax put her hands on him last week on Raw when she got an altercation with Shayna Baszler. And this week, the guy, or the production, I forgot his name, but the production guy basically just said, Nia Jax, you're suspended indefinitely. And then Nia Jax kind of just made fun of him and pushed him all around. So yeah, that was the worst part of the show for sure. That was just so bad. Oh my God. Yeah, I couldn't even get behind that. Moving over here, it was Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks. I'm like, wait a minute. Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks, our Raw Women's Champion. This is totally not happening. There's no way we're getting this match. I literally said that before this match began. I'm like, there's no way we're getting this match this early. This is insane. This was the weirdest ending to a match that I've seen. This is insane. All right, Shayna Baszler and Sasha Banks are fighting in the ring. Of course, Bayley's on ringside, supporting her best friend, Sasha Banks. Here comes Asuka. Asuka, who is not in the match, hits Bayley from behind, who is also not in the match. Ding, 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 ding. What? The bell just rang, but Asuka took out Bayley, who wasn't even in the match. The match was between Sasha Banks and Shayna Baszler. I just just so bad. This is another just such a weak part of the show. Like, I actually wanted to see Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks, and then, of course, some garbage like that has to happen. But yeah, in the end, it was just a disqualification. I don't even know who got disqualified because yeah, whatever. Yeah, moving over here, it was Akira Tozawa versus R-Truth versus Shelton Benjamin for the 24/7 championship. The ending of this match was insane. You should have seen, like, I haven't seen Akira Tozawa do it since like 205 Live, where he jumps off the top rope, does like like similar to a coffin drop, how Darby Allin does it, but he jumped up in the air, just landed straight on his back, sort of like a midair senton. So cool, man. So awesome. He hit it on R-Truth, and then Akira Tozawa become I think it was a 3-time 24/7 champion. But yeah, that was a pretty decent triple threat match. I was into that. I forgot to mention, during the MVP and Apollo Crews match, there were a bunch of power outages, there were microphone outages, there was a bunch of power difficulties all night. And we were all wondering, like, what is going on with this? Is this part of the storyline? Is this actual, like, stuff going on? But actually, it is part of the storyline. Very interesting. Actually, they found some security footage of not Jamie Noble and Kurt Angle, but of random goons outside of the Performance Center destroying the generator. So the lights were going out during MVP's and Apollo Crews' match because of these 5 goons or people, I don't even know, that were outside of the Performance Center destroying the generators. So that was very interesting. I have no idea. I don't have any ideas on who this could be. Very interesting in my opinion. I really enjoyed that. Moving over here was Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton in one of the best promos that I've seen in a long time here on Monday Night Raw. This was absolutely insane. Just the stuff that they brought up, of course, building up to SummerSlam, where it will be Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. But yeah, this was insane. This promo that they had was just crazy. The stuff that Drew McIntyre brought up about about Undertaker and Randy Orton and how Undertaker made Randy Orton look good and how Randy Orton didn't even help Drew McIntyre when Drew McIntyre was in his lowest place at catering. Just, oh my gosh, so good. Oh, just, I'm so hyped for their match at SummerSlam. That's going to be so good. And this promo, as I said, was absolutely insane. Moving over here, it was actually Angelo Dawkins versus Angel Garza in the first match here, and this was pretty interesting. So basically, Angelo Dawkins and Angel Garza are going at it in the ring. Montez Ford, of course, cheering on Angelo Dawkins, his tag team partner, on the outside. But then Angelo Dawkins gets distracted because Montez Ford collapsed on the outside of the ring. I'm like, oh my God, is this part of the show? Is he okay? But no, he collapsed. Angelo Dawkins got distracted, turned around, super kick. Angel Garza wins. 1, 2, 3. Takes out Angelo Dawkins. And then Montez Ford, he got back up. He's like, okay, I'm good. And then it was Montez Ford versus Andrade in a one-on-one match. And then Andrade looks like he was about to put away Montez Ford was looking good. And then he starts shaking the rope like the Ultimate Warrior used to do. And then, boom, collapses again. And then Andrade's like, I'm going to go for the pin. And then Angelo Dawkins, and then the bell rang, and they're like, we got to stop this match. Get a doctor out here. So basically, in a backstage promo, we figured out that Montez Ford was poisoned before the match. And then Bianca Belair was super mad, and Angelo Dawkins was just so disappointed. Yeah, but Montez Ford was poisoned before the match, and of course, everybody thought it would be like Andrade, Angel Garza, and Selena Vega that did that, but I don't think it was. I think it could be somebody random. Could it have to do with the generator moment? We don't know. I just thought that was just so interesting. Love that. Moving over here was the Monday Night Messiah and the Disciple Murphy. They actually approached the announce table, and they were going after Tom Phillips because, of course, last week on Raw, Dominic actually attacked Seth Rollins, and Tom Phillips, the main commentator on Raw, he was actually rooting for Dominic. So Seth Rollins, he's like, you are going to be taking out Buddy Murphy. Go get Tom Phillips. And then he's about to go get him, and then Samoa Joe stops him from him. He's like, you're not gonna freaking, insult or try to freaking make my commentator partners feel uncomfortable. So Samoa Joe gets up. He's like, Seth Rollins, you want to go? You have to go through me. And Seth Rollins is like, you don't want to do this. They get in the ring. Samoa Joe, basically like a distraction. I don't know if Joe and Dominic had a plan for this, but Samoa Joe he definitely had a little plan. Seth Rollins and Buddy were like, get in the ring, Joe. You want to go? And then Dominic from behind with a kendo stick, and then Dominic beats the living crap out of Seth Rollins and Murphy, and then they hightail. And then Seth Rollins actually accepted the challenge for the SummerSlam match with Dominic and him, so that should be very friggin' interesting. But yeah, this was like one of the best parts on Raw, dude, right here. Freaking amazing. Moving into the last part of the show, it is Raw Underground, which I don't know how I feel about it. If you guys don't know what Raw Underground is, of course you do if you watch the show. It's like a very interesting, like, behind the scenes, backstage, secret, like, wrestling ring with no ropes, just steel posts, and Shane McMahon's in charge of it. I thought for sure when they announced that Shane McMahon was coming back, I thought he was going to get in the center of that ring and basically say, this show is falling apart. We need a commissioner. We need a general manager. I think that would have been way better. Comment down below if you guys think I'm right on that. But yeah, he returned with this underground stuff, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. Basically, it's just like these really hardcore, it's not really wrestling, it's sort of just like big fights going down in a random ring in a backstage area with like strippers on ringside. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't really know what to think of it. The Hurt Business made their presence known by taking out everybody, and then Shane McMahon's like, we'll see you guys next time on the next episode of Raw Underground, but I just couldn't get behind it. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think they could have done way more with Shane McMahon in his return, maybe like a commissioner or general manager, as I said, for Raw, but yeah, that was pretty disappointing. I wasn't into it, but then again, they still have some time to impress me on this, but then again, I don't think they're going to. Honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. The Viking Raiders also made an appearance, but yeah, just not my favorite part of the show there, and that was like the big hype too. But yeah, otherwise the show was very decent. Of course, there were some weak parts. There were some really interesting parts, really good parts as well. In the end, I'm going to give Raw a solid 8 out of 10. I thought it was really good. Again, as I said, there were weak parts that were really weak, but there were really good parts that were really good. Comment down below what you guys think about Raw Underground as well. I think it's very interesting. But yes, guys, that has been Raw. Now, let's get into SmackDown. Moving into the SmackDown side of things, starting over here is Bayley and Sasha Banks, of course, coming out to have their video chat with Stephanie McMahon, of course, because Stephanie McMahon was supposed to set up like title matches or something. But yeah, this was very interesting. So basically, Sasha Banks set up a match for Sasha Banks to go up against Asuka at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's Championship, and for Bayley, there will be a battle royal with people from NXT, Raw, SmackDown, all Tanner Battle Royal next week on SmackDown. The winner faces Bayley for the SmackDown Championship at SummerSlam. So I am so into this. Hopefully they could both lose their titles. Brand new Sasha Banks figure I got from Five Below. Shout out to Five Below. You guys can get $5 basics from there. Got that awesome Sasha Banks for only $5. But yeah, very awesome match stipulations that Stephanie McMahon set up right here. I think that's awesome. Moving over here was the return of The Fiend. The Fiend came out, and I'm like, where's Alexa Bliss? So The Fiend comes out, they go to commercial, they come back from commercial, and Alexa Bliss is already sitting on the mat. I'm like, wait, are they replaying this from last week? No, they were not. That was just the current state. That was the current time. So Alexa Bliss was just sitting there, and then it looks like The Fiend was about to lock in the Mandible Claw one more time. But then Braun Strowman, he didn't appear. He actually popped up on the Titantron. But yeah, he was basically just saying how he let the monster that was lurking inside of him out for the longest time, and he said he couldn't care less about Alexa Bliss and how Bray Wyatt was trying to torture Alexa Bliss to get Braun all Superman. Braun's just like, I couldn't care less about her. All I want is to destroy The Fiend. So I'm really excited for this match. The build-up that they are doing for this match is absolutely insane. I'm really into it. I'm really excited for The Fiend versus Braun Strowman. That should be awesome. Moving over here, it was Cesaro versus Lince Dorado. Honestly, not my favorite match of the night. It was just way too obvious. Obviously, Cesaro was going to pick up the victory here. He hit Lince Dorado. I mean, of course, it wasn't a half bad match, but in the end, he hit Lince Dorado with a Gotch neutralizer. 1, 2, 3 right there. Not my favorite part of the show, as I said. Yeah. Moving on. This might be a little hard to explain, but in the beginning of the show, it was Sheamus versus Matt Riddle one-on-one. I'm like, whoa, Sheamus versus Matt Riddle? We're going to get this match? Amazing match. I'm like, wow, this is so good. And then who comes running down the aisle there? Shorty G. I'm like, oh, why? Don't ruin this match. He takes out Matt Riddle. Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh, great. So there goes the match. But it actually ended in my favor because Matt Riddle took out Shorty G, sent him back into the ring, and Sheamus hit him with 2 bro kicks because Shorty G attacked Matt Riddle, and that makes Matt Riddle the winner of the match. So Sheamus was super peed off about this. He took out Shorty G, and so did Matt Riddle. Sheamus and Matt Riddle didn't stand tall together like they're like becoming like friends or anything, but they just could not stand how Shorty G ruined such a good match of theirs, and I couldn't either. I mean, that was very interesting. And then later in the show, it was actually Jeff Hardy versus Baron Corbin. Of course, because the only reason Shorty attacked Matt Riddle is because of the King's ransom that was set out for Matt Riddle. So yes, it was King Corbin versus Jeff Hardy. It was a pretty decent match up until Sheamus ran down the apron, ran down the aisle this time, and bro kicked Jeff Hardy, making Baron Corbin the loser, or King Corbin, whatever you guys want to call him. So very interesting. I am really liking what they're doing with Sheamus right here. I mean, kind of, well, not necessarily moving away from Jeff Hardy's rivalry, but kind of moving away. But yeah, he did bro kick Jeff Hardy to make King Corbin lose, and then it was a match between Sheamus and Baron Corbin. And one really quick thing, similar thing happened last week. Jeff Hardy got interrupted in a promo. Boom, you haven't seen him after the commercial. Jeff Hardy got taken out by Sheamus. Boom, after the commercial, he's gone. Very interesting. But yes, then as I said, it was Sheamus versus King Corbin. In the end, Matt Riddle actually interfered to distract King Corbin, helping Sheamus pick up the victory. So can we see a little alliance between Sheamus and Matt Riddle? Very interesting. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. I don't know about that. That would be very interesting. I doubt it. But yeah, not too bad. I'm very surprised I didn't have one hiccup during explaining all that. But yeah, I thought it wasn't too bad. I'm really liking what they're doing with all those guys. I think it's pretty cool. Moving over here, main event of the show is Miz and Morrison versus Tucker and Otis. Not a half bad match in the end. Yeah, the match was going on, and then Mandy Rose made her appearance with her shorter hair look, of course, because Sonya Deville cut it last week, and then they just started brawling, ding, 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 another disqualification, and then, yeah, they just kept on brawling, and then Otis and Tucker to break them up. Miz and Morrison broke up Sonya Deville. Also got that Sonya Deville from Five Below, and it was the variant, so that's $5 variant. Can you believe that? Super awesome. Hit up your Five Below guys. Seriously, hit them up, guys. Seriously, $5 basics, absolutely awesome. But yeah, it wasn't half bad, and they broke them up, and then it kind of ended. But yeah, after this, they showed him backstage, still trying to break up Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? And then the lights went out, of course, because, oh my gosh, what'd they call it? It's like retaliation or something. What's their name? Let me know that. It's like something retaliation or whatever. Like, I forgot the name, but it's something with an R. But yeah, then they come out, And, of course, the guys that took out the generator on Raw, as I just talked about. But, yeah, they come out. They basically just cut the ropes with a freaking chainsaw. They spray painted all the plexiglass. They spray painted the stairs, spray painted literally the mat, everything. They destroyed people on ringside that were just there to watch the show. And, yeah, just I have no idea what they're doing with this. I couldn't make out any of the guys that were in the masks. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Honestly, if I was... Say if they had like a general manager, I think it would have been pretty cool to be like if they had a general manager, they could get like all their superstars together and be like, push your differences aside. We have people taking over our show. You got to take them out. We got to team together. We got to alliance, and we got to take out these thugs that are taking out our show. I just think that would be a way cooler way of doing it. We need a general manager for Raw and SmackDown. God dang it. But yes, guys, that was SmackDown and Raw in the Week in Review setup style. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments down below. In the end, I'm going to give SmackDown a solid 7 out of 10. I'm gonna give SmackDown a 7 out of 10. Thought it wasn't too bad. But yes, guys, those are my ratings. Let me know yours down in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bretto Live out.